Canada is a great place to live because the employment opportunities and standards of healthcare education are high. It's a first world nation with a very open immigration policy, and the quality of life can be excellent. Middle-class Canadians can usually afford to live in detached houses. Property costs tend to be cheaper in Canada than in the UK or in the USA, partly because the country is so vast that there is no space restriction. Let's see some of the places to visit and live in. Boucherville. Boucherville is one of the oldest municipalities in Quebec, with a community of around 43,000. The city's median household income is $92,253, and its unemployment rate sits at an impressively low 2.88%. Boucherville Islands National Park. Situated very near Montreal, its population growth is high, so with bike-friendly streets and a strong arts and sports community, Boucherville is hugely attractive for expatriates. The great outdoors is definitely a prominent feature in Boucherville. The Isles de Boucherville National Park is one of the most amazing parks in Canada, with snow hiking, volleyball on sand, sea kayaking, wildlife viewing, biking and more. It's a perfect location for a family who loves outdoor activities, golf, nature and beautiful scenery while still needing the amenities of a big city at hand. Boucherville residents are mostly French-speaking. About 90% of the population speak French, while only 2% can speak fluent English. Therefore, knowing French is an essential factor if you want to move to Boucherville. From the point of view of employment, those who are bilingual get better chances to be employed. In general, the city has a very low unemployment rate, and employees receive relatively good salaries. Boucherville's industrial park is home to around 575 businesses, which provides employment to 23,000 people. Boucherville is just 18 kilometers away from Montreal, Canada's second biggest city, so it is common for many Boucherville residents to commute to work in Montreal. Typical areas of employment in Montreal are aerospace, software, electronics, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing and transportation. The city is one of the largest aerospace centers in North America. Over 40,000 people are employed in Quebec's aerospace industry at companies like Bell Helicopter Textron, Bombardier Aerospace, Pratt & Whitney, Rolls-Royce, and CAE. Vancouver. Vancouver repetitively tops lists as one of the best places to live in the world, and it's no surprise. The city has everything from mountains to beaches, islands, coastline, an urban center and beautiful residential suburbs. Vancouver really does have everything. The only drawback if you plan on moving to Vancouver is the property market. Prices for a family home in the suburbs can reach over $1 million Canadian very quickly, and properties that come up for sale get snapped up fast. Even rent can be very high, making finding somewhere to live complicated. However, once your housing situation is sorted, you can enjoy the best Vancouver has to offer. It has incredible connections internationally as well as to the surrounding islands, so getting out of the city and into nature is often easier than crossing downtown. Vancouver's economy is diverse and thriving. Film and television are huge employers in the area, as the city is the most popular filming location after New York and LA. With investment thanks to the recent 2010 Winter Olympics, Vancouver jobs are easy to find and pay very well, which makes finding a house easier. The general cost of living in Vancouver is also very high. Following Singapore, it's one of the most expensive cities globally. But on the flip side, it offers the best of the best. Vancouver has the best schools, best hospitals and medical care, best public transport, best shopping districts, best harbor and maintained parkland. Stanley Park is world famous in most of Canada. Even the weather in Vancouver is milder than in other places, making outdoor activities more accessible year-round. If you can afford it, Vancouver is truly incredible. Calgary. If you are moving to Alberta, there's a big chance you are choosing between Calgary and Edmonton. Calgary, the largest city in Alberta, has a lot to offer anyone moving to Canada. Home to 1.5 million people, it's a bustling city that is always full of life but is hugely connected to nature and the surrounding landscape. As the city is located at the meeting point of two rivers, the Bow and the Elbow, at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, life in Calgary is certainly picturesque. Calgary initially grew from a small town into a city as the railway expanded out west. As such, it has all the charm of a mountain village with all the amenities of a fast-paced city. When the Winter Olympic Games chose Calgary for the 1988 Games, the whole area received massive investment. Residents in Calgary still benefit from the financial boost with some of the country's best sporting facilities and transport connections. The city is separated into 180 distinct neighborhoods, each with its own history and culture, making Calgary one of the most diverse cities in Canada. Redevelopment in some of the older neighborhoods is ongoing, meaning there is always something new to explore. Parks and outdoor spaces are very well maintained, especially Prince Island Park, used for many of the city's festivals, including a music festival and cowboy stampede. Thanks to the excellent facilities and ongoing redevelopment, housing prices are on the rise. A condo starts at around 300,000 Canadian dollars, while a house starts at around 500,000 Canadian dollars. Despite high property costs, Calgary is reasonably inexpensive for day-to-day living costs. It is also supported by fantastic employment opportunities. There are plenty of jobs in the tourism, film, manufacturing, aerospace, health, financial services and transport sectors, making Calgary a straightforward place to move to if you are looking for work. Halifax. Based out on the Atlantic coast, Halifax is the regional capital for Nova Scotia. The city is the second fastest growing in Canada in terms of population, with just under 6,000 expatriates arriving last year. Best province to live in Canada, Nova Scotia. Halifax waterfront, Nova Scotia. The stunning coastline and leisure lifestyle make it the ideal location for people looking to get away from city life for a quiet retirement. The city of Halifax sits on one side of the Bedford Basin facing the town of Dartmouth on the other side. As such, life in Halifax means having access to the amenities of two cities. The choices for education, healthcare, public facilities and employment are doubled thanks to the two bridges connecting the two cities. Like most of Canada, much of city life revolves around nature and the outdoors, meaning Halifax offers an excellent lifestyle for anyone who likes being outdoors. Thanks to its coastal position, the area gets a fair amount of snow, but temperatures are less cold in winter, and snow melts faster. Winters are long but feel shorter than the intense cold in other places like Toronto. It is relatively remote, so winters can feel lonely, and many people feel unconnected to the mainland. In terms of job opportunities, the significant employer in the area is the services sector, which makes up 85% of all employment. The healthcare sector is also growing and providing more opportunities. Halifax is Nova Scotia's economic powerhouse, so jobs in the city are highly sought after. Unemployment here is higher than in other areas because of the high demand for work, so many expatriates that move to Halifax can either work remotely or are retired and don't need employment. Salaries in Halifax tend to be pretty high, with an average annual salary of just over 60,000 Canadian dollars. Surprisingly, the cost of living in Halifax is relatively low. House prices, rent, and general bills tend to be lower than average, meaning people have high disposable incomes. The area is generally very affluent and a wonderful place to live. Quebec City. Quebec City is one of the oldest existing cities in the entire North American continent. Founded in 1833 but with even older history, this fortified city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has some of the most beautiful architecture in Canada. Best places to live in Canada. Old Town area in Quebec City. Quebec City is a hub of culture, art, and history with cobbled streets, historical landmarks, plenty of parkland and museums. While it is smaller and has fewer amenities than other major cities in Canada, you'll never struggle to find healthcare, schools or work. Many expatriates move to Quebec City because it's closer to a European city than anywhere else in Canada. Language is the primary consideration for anyone planning to move to the city. Fewer than 2% of inhabitants speak English fluently, and French is definitely the dominant language for work. There are several major employers in the area, thanks to the thriving port. Most residents work in the timber, pulp, aerospace and hydropower industry. Unemployment is low, but there are limited opportunities for fast-paced, modern office-based jobs. In general, life in Quebec City is cheaper than in other similar-sized cities. Everything from rent to groceries sits below average, making it an inexpensive place to emigrate to. The reason for the low costs is the winter isolation. Connections in and out of the city in the depths of winter aren't fantastic, and the long, cold winters are harsher here than further south. Most winter days sit at around -7 with plenty of snow and short dark days. But if you can stand the cold, summers are warm and bright, and the city is very welcoming to newcomers. Saskatoon. If you're looking for a city that seriously acts like one giant village, Saskatoon is easily one of the top choices. Home to around 275,000 people, Saskatoon in Saskatchewan doesn't feel like a city. The downtown area and surrounding suburbs are very community-based and are very welcoming to anyone who moves in. Best places to live in Canada. Saskatoon. A city living with a village feel. Much of Saskatoon is based around communal living. There are huge numbers of public parks, playgrounds and public sports grounds. There's even a hugely successful weekly farmers market for local produce as well as public swimming pools in the summer and many festivals including comedy, Shakespeare, music and agricultural events. Agriculture is a major employer in the area, including livestock and mineral mining. However, the job market has expanded into IT, biotech and manufacturing in recent years, meaning jobs are easy to find and well paid. Thanks to local agriculture and the wide open plains, the cost of living in Saskatoon is fairly low compared to the rest of the nation. House prices are on the way up as the area becomes more popular, but they are generally lower than average. Everything from houses to cars to public transport is lower than the rest of the country, and even commute time sits below average at just 20 minutes. The downside is the weather. Saskatoon experiences freezing winters. This fosters a very neighborly attitude where everyone will help you out if you need it. However, the winter weather is so extreme that Saskatoon is one of the few cities where life can grind to a halt during storms. Saskatoon completes our list of the 10 best places to live in Canada. However, there is one more destination we would like to mention. It's growing rapidly in popularity and could very soon climb into our top 10. An up-and-coming expat destination, Charlottetown. Looking to get ahead of the trend and move to someone on the rise? Charlottetown on Prince Edward Island is fast-growing, attracting many new expatriates and has massive redevelopment projects with low prices. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, is one of the most affordable places to live without compromising on facilities and amenities. Charlottetown consists of several distinct, vibrant neighborhoods with a considerable amount of history. The entire Canadian nation was actually founded in Charlottetown in 1864. The city isn't large, with just 35,000 residents, but this gives it the feeling of a large market town. The old town is stunning while newer built-up neighborhoods are popping up everywhere with all the modern facilities. Real estate in Charlottetown remains some of the cheapest in the country, with a good family home on the market for around 200,000 Canadian dollars, making life very affordable. Local farmers mean grocery bills are low, and the only time you'll notice high costs is importing items during the winter months. Although the busy port means prices aren't exorbitant, most items can be easily located and shipped in. Economically, the job market is dominated by the public sector. The educational sectors, healthcare, social workers and government roles offer plenty of work. And the manufacturing and tech companies that are setting up in the area in recent years are growing in popularity thanks to a range of new roles with good salaries. Charlottetown is the island's economic and cultural hub, meaning there is everything from local sports events to cultural festivals, museums, art shows, and more all year round with a steady stream of visitors. As more people discover the city's delights, it is growing steadily and is set to become one of Canada's nicest places to live. If ever you wanted to invest before a city becomes expensive, now is the time to move to Charlottetown. Final say on the best places to live in Canada. It's not difficult to see why Canada is such an exceptionally popular choice with would-be expatriates. The country is ripe with opportunities, and the lifestyle it offers is pretty good if a little cold at times. The only real problem with Canada is that it's such a vast nation with so much to offer that you have to spend time researching the different provinces to find your favorite area. We hope the above list of the best places to live in Canada has introduced you to some of the most promising lifestyle destinations in this fabulous nation. Your next step should be visiting parts of Canada where you feel you could make a new home abroad. Hope you enjoy our video. Please like and subscribe to be notified for our future uploads.